The steady tone near the high end of the hearing range, say about 15,000 hertz. And step 2, which is the same part of step 1, the hypnotist's voice ranging from say 300 hertz to 4,000 hertz is injected with microphone. In 3, you see the steady tone at 15,000 hertz accompanied by the hypnotist's voice from 300 hertz to 4,000 hertz passes into a frequency modulator. The hypnotist's voice controls the frequency. Here in 4, you see the output from the frequency modulator, which is that steady tone coupled with the hypnotist's voice, pass through the frequency modulator. Now you have an output that is more or less a steady tone. That's like tinnitus, ringing in the ears, but only with hypnosis embedded. And you see the curve below is magnified to show how the FM frequency modulated voice controls the timing of the transmitter's pulses. Here in 5, you see the transmitter itself. Each vertical line is one short pulse of microwave signal at a frequency to which the human brain is sensitive. Then the brain converts the train of microwave pulses back to an inaudible voice. Timing of each microwave pulse is controlled by each downslope crossing of the voice. That is Sharp's original 1974 method. Here in 6, you see the total output of the system going into your brain. And no, there is no conscious defense possible against this silent sound hypnosis. This was doable in 1974. This is not science fiction. This is science fact. Google it. You will see that there have been patents issued for this technology. It's a patented process. It's real. It's not imaginary. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what's being done to people in the United States and in other countries. The United States is the biggest offender, the biggest perpetrator of this evil mind control technology. Google it for yourself. Now I want to give thanks to Eleanor White for all her work over the years exposing this evil technology. For more information, check out my video, Silent Sound Weapon in Organized Stalking of U.S. Citizens with DEWs, Directed Energy Weapons. And there's no better source than raven1.net for information on this evil technology. That's Eleanor White's website. There's a lot of information there on a lot of threats to we the people related to these evil technologies that have been developed by our government since 1947. This is very real. This is Silent Sound Mind Control Explained Part 2. Use of recorded brain waves instead of a hypnotist's voice. In Silent Sound Mind Control Explained, we learn that a patented mind control device exists that can inject a hypnotist's voice into a microwave broadcast. And then the embedded hypnotist's instructions are transmitted via microwave hearing directly into the brain of an unsuspecting human. Microwave hearing was first discovered by Dr. Alan Fry in 1961. The patent for silent sound, U.S. Patent 5159703, issued October 27, 1992, states that the carrier frequencies used for silent sound subliminal mind control can be transmitted in real time or recorded and stored on mechanical, magnetic, or optical media for delayed or repeated transmission to the unsuspecting human. The patent also states that many modifications and variations of silent sound mind control are possible. The real-time transmission spoken of in the patent is the hypnotist's voice, as shown in the video Silent Sound Mind Control Explained. And this is shown as a tool used by organized stalkers to harass and control targeted individuals. the recording of brain waves that can induce any state of consciousness in a human, and the subsequent use of those brain waves in silent sound broadcasts is another method of silent sound subliminal mind control. In U.S. Patent 5356368, method of an apparatus for inducing desired states of consciousness, issued October 18, 1994, frequency following response, or FFR, is used to take pre-recorded brain waves of specific levels of consciousness and transmit them into the brain of an unsuspecting human via microwave transmission. In frequency following response, FFR, a human's brain waves are made to follow superimposed frequency patterns, overriding the human's own natural brain waves. As a result, the human's thoughts are not his own, and behavior modification is achieved using this method.
In other words, by studying the subtle characteristic brainwave patterns that occur when the subject experiences a particular emotion, scientists have been able to identify the concomitant brainwave pattern and can now duplicate it. These modified emotion signature clusters can then be broadcast over UHF carrier frequencies, i.e. regular TV and radio signals, and sent directly into the brain, where they can then silently trigger the same basic emotion in another human being. In other words, if the emotional signature cluster for, say, a feeling of hopelessness and despair is being fed directly into your brain via unseen radio waves, you will feel those emotions.
So frequency following response applied to humans via silent sound subliminal mind control is one of the ways that the entire human population of the planet can be controlled via microwave signals broadcast over TV, radio, satellite, and other broadcast means. It's real.
What Dr. Persinger is saying is that virtually any mental state can be artificially injected into a human brain from an exterior source. The most frightening thing is that the means for doing this already exists in a fully operational form on a worldwide basis. Quote, "The power levels for these amplitudes are similar to those associated with the signals generated globally by radio and communication system. Within the last 2 decades, a potential has emerged which was improbable, but which is now marginally feasible. This potential is the technical capability to influence directly the major portion of the approximately 6 billion brains of the human species by generating neural information within a physical medium within which all members of the species are immersed." Unquote. Dr. Persinger's message, minus the jargon, is that the entire human race can be controlled through the use of electromagnetic influence piggybacked on television and radio networks or other technological means.
Effectively, all consciousness is due to electromagnetic patterns generated within the brain. What we do is imitate what the brain normally does and apply it experimentally.
Where are these thoughts coming from?
Those thoughts came from the Neuroscience Laboratory at Laurentian University in Sudbury, Ontario.
The next thing, the three-parts policy that they had adopted there, the second one was to find a way of being able to get total control of people's minds. And that would be done by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introduce it as a new science for the benefit of mankind. They felt that by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introducing it as a new science for the benefit of mankind, they could then use people of great renown educators, people of capacity that would do great things, such as
Fair use allows to distribute, reproduce, and show clips for criticism, commenting, reporting, teaching, and research of copyrighted material without authorization of the copyright.
I'll tell you what's the worst part about television is the programming, the philosophy, okay? I mean, the manipulating of your mind, the philosophy, the mentality, the system of thinking, the ideology. That's what's wrong with television. That's what's wrong with movies. That's where they're really getting in your head. Take, for example, Walt Disney. Right? And many people that will preach against the TV, they'll preach against the movies, they'll preach against Hollywood because it's obvious that stuff is bad. But then they'll say, well, we watch Disney movies. And I've been to the home of preachers and Christians who would never watch TV or the movies, but yet they have the whole library of the Walt Disney movies. You know those white plastic cases? And they have them all lined up. And I mean, they have tons of them lined up. Of course, I don't know how many there are, but there's hundreds of them. They have them lined up and lined up, and they have their kids watching those movies all day long. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove to you right now that those movies are wicked. You say, what? Disney movies? Come on, you're crazy. They're rated G. Well, let's see. First of all, did you know this? Did you know that Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages? Subliminal messages. Now, what are we talking about tonight? Sorcery. What are we talking about tonight? Getting inside your mind and messing with you, controlling your thought process by supernatural means or demonic means. Or hey, I'm going to tell you something. Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages. And you say, oh, that's a hoax. I've seen it with my own eyes. When I was a teenager, I had a friend of mine sit me down at his house and show me the subliminal messages in the Disney movies. They're filled with subliminal messages. Let me give you some examples. The Lion King, filled with subliminal messages. Okay, all throughout the movie, there are pornographic pictures hidden in the movie. Like you'll be watching the movie, and just for a few seconds, something filthy will come on. Like off to the side, there'll be some kind of a, reproductive anatomy will pop up, over here, and then over here. There's this one point where the lion, he kind of goes like this, and a cloud of dust comes up and just spells the word sex. And the word sex is put in the Lion King movie subliminally, literally hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. The shapes on the screen will spell the word. And I've seen it. I mean, I had my friend sit me down at his house and pausing the movie, showing me the word sex popping up on the screen at different times because he knew where they were. And he would show me these things. Another one, and they all are filled with it. Aladdin is another one. In the movie Aladdin, there's a part in the movie where the guy, what's his name, Aladdin? There's a point in the movie where he tells Jasmine to take all her clothes off. But you don't even know it unless you know it's there. You listen to it, and he mumbles it kind of under his breath.
Leave me alone.
Down. So how's our little Bo doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? So how's our little Bo doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off?
And I mean, once you know it's there, you hear it just as clear as day. But you didn't know that it was there, you wouldn't hear it. And The Little Mermaid has a filthy picture drawn in the cover on the front of The Little Mermaid. And nobody would realize it until somebody shows you and says, look at this. And you look at it, whoa! And all throughout the movie there are scenes, I'm not even going to describe some of the scenes in The Little Mermaid where subliminal messages are coming on the screen. The other movie, Beauty and the Beast. There, you know, a nude woman pops up a few times in the background of Beauty and the Beast, filled with subliminal messages. Your kids are watching it, and their mind is maybe not even seeing it, but it's going into their subconscious. Words flashing on the screen over and over. sex, you know, nudity, filth, just all the smut is just coming on the screen. Oh, those movies are harmless. They're filled with subliminal messages. Who knows what your kids are being programmed? Oh, but you know what? I'm sure that it's only just the Disney movies. I'll guarantee you it's the rest of Hollywood probably doing the same thing. And these Disney movies, at first when I was a teenager and somebody showed me this, I thought it was just a couple movies, a couple scenes. But you know, as time has gone on, I've realized that virtually every Disney movie is packed with hundreds of subliminal messages to program the minds of your children. Okay, but then forget the subliminal message. Just the message of the Disney movies is perverted. Even if you just forget the subliminal message. I mean, forget, what movies did we bring up? The Little Mermaid. You know, a half animal, half human being. And that's perverted in and of itself. All throughout the Bible, every false god is a half animal, half human being. They're constantly merging of animals and human beings. It's paganism. It's wicked. And yet every Disney movie is pretty much based on the merging of a human being with an animal. It's described in the Bible. And the movie The Little Mermaid, you know, she's topless the whole time, right? She's just wearing like a bikini top. How is that? Is that how you want your daughter to dress? Is that, oh, but there's no cussing, there's no nudity. Do you want your daughter going around in a bikini top? Is that modest apparel? Is that what Jesus Christ would have you to wear, ladies? No. The movie's filled with Satanism, witchcraft. There's some, what is it, Ursula, some witch that's casting spells and using sorcery and demonism. Oh, pretty innocent, right? All of them are filled with it. In the movie Beauty and the Beast, the whole first half of the movie is these prostitutes in the town that are dressed just half naked, dancing around, you know, admiring this guy, the big, strong, handsome guy. But all these girls are dressed indecently. They're obscene in their gestures, subliminal messages, and then the whole movie is basically just exalting a certain physical standard of appearance. Beauty and the Beast is a movie about a woman who falls in love with an animal. And in the movie, they keep acting like, well, he's just ugly. He's not ugly, he's an animal. But there's a difference between being ugly and being a beast, being an animal. And if you've seen the cartoon, it's an animal. It's like a dog. It's like a big dog man or something. I mean, it's clearly an animal, and yet she falls in love with him while he's an animal. You know, only when she kisses an animal does he become a human being. Oh, wow. And you say, well, what's wrong with that? Read the Bible sometime.
Hey guys, it's Jared. I pray this video shed light on the satanic, Luciferian, Illuminati indoctrination of our children through subliminal messages in Disney movies. I understand that you may not believe this, but when you look into who is making these movies and you see the fruits of their labor, it all makes sense. Walt Disney was a Freemason obsessed with the occult and used his movies and his theme parks as a tool to indoctrinate the public into his beliefs. Club 33 in the Disneyland parks is symbolic of the 33rd degree of Masonry. This symbolism is also put into the Disney movies. In the Dumbo movie, after getting drunk, Dumbo and the rat have lucid dreams that contain satanic, Luciferian, and Illuminati symbolism. Disney also displays its corrupt satanic agenda through programming of their idols. They introduce innocent stars that slip under parents' radar and build up a fan base. As the idols get older, they corrupt them and send them on a crash course in a dragnet plot to drag some of their fans down with them. Examples of this are Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera. I know the 666 in the Disney name is hard for some people to accept, but it is not Walt Disney's signature, as many believe. It is a made logo, and even as a kid I remember thinking the logo looked odd. It didn't look like any D I had ever seen. The Y doesn't even look like a Y, and the squiggly above the I are all part of the hidden mark of the beast symbolism. Think about it. This mark is on everything Disney, and as if to affirm its importance and the mark of the beast promotion, on many Disney stores, Mickey's head is made with the same 666. If you still think it's a stretch, then you're probably comfortable with the hand scanning technology they are implementing for VIPs to enter their park and access their rooms. It is a forerunner for the RFID Mark of the Beast technology. They are getting the people ready. All these plots are satanic in nature. If you understand the Masons, Illuminati, and the times that we're living in, it should all be obvious to you. Jesus Christ came to save us from this system. In 1 John 2:15, he said, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Jesus knew this system that Satan was going to be creating. He knew about Disney before it was even here. Satan doesn't play fair. He doesn't wait until you get older before he starts trying to plant his lies in you. He wants to get kids as young as possible and indoctrinate them into his system. Jesus also said, "What is highly esteemed among men is an abomination to God." The reason why these Disney movies are so prevalent, the reason why people young, old, big, and small of this world are watching them, is because it is highly esteemed among men, and it is an abomination to God. Our Lord wasn't saying these things to keep things from us or to make life less fun. He was saying these things to protect us. He knew Satan's deceptiveness and his plot to destroy us. As we put our faith in Jesus Christ and his work of salvation for us from this system, and we live in the Word of God and in the Holy Spirit, we will overcome Satan's snares. As we get closer and closer to the end times, the devices of the enemy are going to get more and more devious. I have videos on my channel explaining some of these deceptions that Satan has laid before us, and I'm making a playlist called Defeating the Antichrist. Brothers and sisters, this is our time to unite. Let us flee from the unclean thing, and let us put our eyes on the glory of Christ.